takedown in this one, the whole stadium could rock. Oh my word! A spinning kick!
And then the line just raised it right on the temple with that toe.
Heavyweight fights in MMA are almost guaranteed fireworks, but one thing I can promise for sure, the fights you're about to witness in this video are pure entertainment. This is what happens when big boys step in and show all their power and savagery. But before we start, a quick reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, let's go. We start with Grigory Panario versus Shamil Gazv. Both of these guys looked absolutely savage. Definitely not the type you'd want to mess with on the street. They fight just as wild as they look. Right from the start they begin swinging early. Grigory gets stunned by one of Gazv's shots, and Shamil capitalizes with a nice takedown.
Бьет на первых минутах Шамиль Газиев, попадает, идет в ноги, пытается сделать перевод.
Оказался к этому готов Григорий Пономарев. И есть все-таки перевод.
But Grigory reverses it perfectly. A beautiful sweep puts him on top. What a crazy start to the round. They're back on their feet pretty fast and immediately start trading brutal punches, turning it into a dogfight.
Попадает! Сейчас Григорий Пономарев разрывает дистанцию, еще одно попадание.
Grigory feels that power again, so he shots for a takedown and ends up on top once more.
Есть проход.
И сваливает, да, оформляет тейкдаун.
They scramble on the ground for a bit, but neither gains much success, until Grigory lands a nasty elbow right to the ribcage just before they stand up. Shamil's fired up now. He's bloodied, but he's angry and charging straight for Grigory's head. What a war this first round is turning into. Minimal clinching, just pure unfiltered violence.
Хват!
И как легко просто.
Пропускает сейчас Григорий.
Пономарев к сетке бросает Шамиля. Еще один обмен
Хлесткие
ударами.
удары вылетают то с одной, то с другой стороны. Вопрос лишь только в том, кто чаще попадает.
И апперкот мощнейший.
Еще одно попадание. Болтануло немного Шамиля Газиева, но устойчив он по-прежнему.
And check this out. Grigory sticks out his tongue and taunts Shamil. Shamil looks like he's seeing some kind of demonic possession in Grigory and must be thinking, holy shit, I'm fighting a madman. That hesitation costs him. Grigory uses the moment to shot in and land another takedown. The rest of the round is spent mostly in the clinch and on the ground, with a few solid shots exchanged. But things heat up again in the final seconds. Shamil starts landing some nice shots from the clinch. Panario eats them all, and in the last 15 seconds they both go full attack mode. What a crazy, awesome first round.
Шамиль Газиев тяжело дышит оба, и тут двойка вылетает от Пономарева, пропускает он в ответ. Одиночный.
Обоюдный обмен. Настоящая такая драка.
Да, кто кого просто передышит, перебьет.
Раунд завершен.
Round 2. They pick up right where they left off, trading punches straight to the face, like head movement doesn't exist.
Попадает Шамиль Газиев и пытается ответить сейчас Григорий Пономарев.
С правой руки пропускает Пономарев.
At one point, Shamil starts unloading brutal knees to the head. Grigory looks exhausted and starts taking serious damage.
Колено.
Колено вылетает, еще одно колено от Газиева.
Все удары без ответа. Сейчас рефери может остановить этот бой.
Всё.
Капа вылетает. Все!
That's it, the ref has seen enough. Wow, what an epic fight. Now let's take a look at fight between two absolute units, James Thompson and the destruction machine himself, Alistair Overeem. James, as always, comes in with that full-on psychopath mentality, trying to intimidate his opponent with that classic "somebody hold me back before I start seeing red" energy. But Alistair, a seasoned K1 and MMA veteran, isn't afraid in the slightest. He looks at James Thompson like he's just another meal to maintain that insanely shredded physique. The fight starts, and right away, Overeem takes control, even throwing a flying knee to make a statement.
The stance here is Overeem. Switches to orthodox, went for a shoot attempt there, Big Thompson. Oh, jumping knee from Overeem! He almost went over the top of the cage.
Thompson, true to his style, bum rushes in for a takedown, but he dives straight into Alistair's guillotine, one of his deadliest weapons. And that's it, Thompson taps. Overeem shows once again that those muscles aren't just for show, therefore collecting the heads of his foes. Predictable fight, but still pretty damn impressive. That was prime Overeem on that horse meat. if you know what I mean.
Ninth variety champion in quarterfinal number 2, and will look to set up a rematch. There you see the gong and dash from Thompson. He threw a hook, he got caught in the guillotine.
Not easy to do, but he got it.
Let's move on to a K1 rules fight between another pair of absolute giants, Bob Sapp and Taro Akebono. Man, even Bob Sapp looks small compared to Akebono. Right away they start exchanging heavy blows. Akebono leans on Sapp like he's about to wrestle him, but the ref immediately steps in like, "Back up, you big buffoon, this isn't an MMA match." They're both hesitant to engage, but Akebono decides once again to go for that bear hug, and Sapp lands a few nice shots as he comes in. Overall though, it's a slow-paced first round, lots of clinching and not too many significant strikes thrown. That said, the end of the round gets pretty wild. Bob Sapp starts swinging those massive hammers of his. A few even land on the back of Akebono's head. By the end of the round, Akebono's clearly not happy and says something like, "Watch where you're hitting, you muppet." Sapp just shrugs it off with a, "Yeah, sorry, my bad bro." Then comes the start of round 2. Pure gold. They both grab each other with one hand and start dirty boxing with the other, almost like they made a gentleman's agreement. Why waste energy moving around? Let's just grab each other and swing. After Sapp unloads a few nuclear bombs, one of them opens a nasty cat on Akebono's forehead, bad enough to stop the fight. The ref calls it, and the judges render their decision based on what happened up to that point. No surprise here. Based on the second round alone, Bob Sapp takes the win.
Holding his head down in the position in the corner like this, I mean, at that time, the referee should come in and stop the fight because he's no longer defending himself.
Next up, a fight between the Russian experiment Anton Vizagen and the Brazilian powerhouse Geronimo dos Santos. Two absolute machines stepping into the octagon. The fight starts and Geronimo immediately goes for the clinch, trying to take Vizagen down.
Традиционно в таких больших весах не очень быстро начинают бойцы, хотел сказать я, но они начали довольно быстро.
But he can't get it done. Geronimo starts throwing bombs. Most of them miss, but a few break through Vizagen's defense.
Ручище у него на самом деле примерно что-то такое же он показывал в бою против Штыркова.
Geronimo attempts a kick, but slips in the process, and Vizagen wastes no time capitalizing on the mistake. He dives in, scrambles on top, and unleashes some brutal ground and pound. They grapple for a bit, Vizagen hunts for a choke, doesn't get it, but transitions beautifully into full mount. And that's where it all ends for Dos Santos. Anthony starts gorilla pounding him into oblivion.
Но уже в маунте оказался Vizagen, начинает разбивать Dos Сантоса. Ну все. И это нокаут.
That's it. Geronimo is out cold. What insane power from Vizagen. Geronimo couldn't even get up for a while. An absolutely savage ground and pound performance from the Russian experiment. Now let's take a look at another one of Igor Vovchanchin's fights, also against a much bigger opponent, Fred Floyd. Full-on psychotic mode from Fred during his entrance. This guy looks ready to take someone out. Let's see if he can keep the same energy once he steps in there with the explosive beast Igor. The fight starts and Floyd bull rushes Igor, trying to overwhelm and intimidate him with heavy swinging shots. But Igor isn't fazed at all. He fires back with his own punches, and it turns into a wild exchange. Floyd then uses his size and weight to trap Igor against the cage, and soon after he scores a takedown.
Just pressing that weight against him, trying to wear him down.
Fred Floyd takes him inside the cage.
Igor is down, and this massive man is on top of him like an elephant. Not much action on the ground, and the ref stands them back up. And that's when Igor flips the switch. Floyd already looks tired, but Igor just getting started. He's becoming more active, and the big man begins backing away from the much smaller Vovchanchin.
Trying to just put his entire weight on Volkachen.
The most advantage one. Oh, and starting up. And Igor guys doing a very good job. A very good job. I think he's going to suplex him now.
Martial arts in Japan. Right now, what a fight we have going on here.
By this point, Igor is relentless, chasing the finish like a madman. He's completely worn down the giant and is ready to slay him, to take his head back to the village, so to speak. Igor starts cracking that chin with brutal shots, and Floyd is taking serious punishment now.
Such episodes of the Fresh Pinch or Seinfeld, rather than being inside this guy.
His conditioning is very good. He gave him some knees in the groin.
When you became the 5-time world championship,
Great right hook. Both of these men are showing courage and stamina and endurance.
from the stop of the International Fighting Championship World Tour.
Oh, he's hitting him with one. Oh my God. It's an incredible good movement. He moves and it's explosive. He's a good fighter, good conditioning, everything.
I mean, Igor's thrown 3, 4, 5 hooks to the face of the Mangler.
Now, Igor going away with the right hooks. This time with the left, he is tapped out. Fred Floyd has said he's had enough.
That's it, the ref steps in. Igor wins again, proving that skill and technique matter far more than size.
Igor Vovchanchin will advance as we go to the replay, Ron. This was hardly a fight when the time limit continued to drag on because Igor started to use his power against Floyd.
Now let's move on to Don Fry's fight with Taro Akebono. The face-off between these two is intense. The American patriot Don Fry wants to get as close as possible to intimidate this mountain of a man, but the ref isn't having it. He steps in and completely blocks Fry from getting too close to Akebono, almost like an overprotective friend keeping a creep away at the club. The fight starts and we get fireworks right away. Fry nearly cracks that massive chin early. Akebono survives the blast and clinches up immediately. They trade some dirty boxing inside the clinch, before the ref steps in to break them apart. But it's clear, Akebono doesn't want to trade leather after getting rocked. Every chance he gets now, he clinches up, smothering Fry, leaning his huge frame on him, and trying to wear him down. His game plan is obvious, drag Fry into the deep waters, and hope the old school brawler gasses out by round 2.
コメントをしていたドンフライであります。ちょっと距離を置いた。Akebono出ていく。Akebono 元気です。膝を出した。ボディは効かせてると思いますよ。ドンフライ選手の方が。やはり予想以上の圧力であります。とにかく一発が重いという。
Second round, same story. Akebono keeps leaning on Fry, using every opportunity to bull rush and pin him, making him carry that enormous weight. It's a tough, grueling fight for Fry, but as the round goes on, you can see Akebono starting to fade fast.
いけばリーチも長いですし、そうですね。パンチ力の短距離です。この距離で戦ってたら詰めない方がいいと思いますね。
Then it happens. Fry throws a sharp leg kick that trips Akebono, and the giant comes crashing down.
かなり下のね。倒れた。Akebono倒れた。上になる。
Fry pounces, unloading vicious ground and pound before locking in a choke. That's it, a hard-earned victory for the old-school savage Don Fry.
最後はアケボノのスタミナが切れたところを狙ってドンフライがテイクダウンを奪う。そのまま一気にフロントチョークを決めた。
Now let's take a look at the massive guys, Kirill Sidelnikov and Chris Barnett. Now don't let the looks fool you. They may look like they're about to face off in a hot dog eating competition, but trust me, these two can throw down for real. The fight starts and right away, you can see they're both pretty fast. They begin landing shots, with Sidelnikov looking just a bit quicker.
他可以把他的腹肌收住嘛？喘气啊。他有太多伤害，如果你在吸气的时候被打中，你会岔气。中直接抱摔。
And look at how focused Sidelnikov is. For him, this is everything. This is his title fight. He's worked too long to be known as that famous chubby guy with sharp striking. Now he's facing his arch nemesis, an even chubbier striker, who wants to steal his title as the simple chubby guy who kicks monsters' asses. Pretty technical fight from both men so far. No rushing, both staying light on their feet, picking their shots carefully, but with powerful precision.
这黑熊长得有点像50美分啊。
And look at this head movement from Sidelnikov. Some crazy reactions on display. Overall in this round, Kirill looked sharper and more precise with his hands, while Barnett landed a few solid kicks.
被裁判都 KO 的有个 KO 两个对手，两个对手都 K 掉了。就做 MMA 的裁判呢，一般的话，他们之前也是裁判的。
一般都是站着打，
是因为他们估计都是站立型的选手。但他们倒了地了之后也。
Second round, and Barnett starts coming out more aggressive. His corner probably told him, "Why are you so hesitant? God damn it! Attack first, dictate your pace." And then Barnett scores a takedown.
不可以去抓围绳来，只能去。
Barnett is able to control Sidelnikov on the ground for the rest of the round. Not much damage done from the top though. There were a few submission attempts and some ground and pound, but nothing special. Still, that's definitely Barnett's round. The third round starts and Chris almost immediately goes for a takedown. But look at this, he gets tangled in the ropes in the process. Rising officials are trying to free Barnett, who's upside down now. For a moment it looks like a human origami contest. The fight resumes, but Barnett already looks exhausted. Kirill once again does a great job in the striking department, clearly outstriking Barnett with his hands.
刚才
危险，
对。
哇，一个，
我觉得他俩势均力敌。
Barnett tries to land some kicks, but by this point in the fight, his strikes are getting pretty sloppy, and Kirill is getting the better of the exchanges.
太抗击打能力太强。
最后10秒。
The fight goes the distance, and Kirill earns a hard-fought decision victory.
他们打到最后还是有重击啊，
对，
就也是
边拳啊，
对，
不错，
对，值得大家去觉得值得敬佩的。
是，别看着这个格斗。
On to the next one, Eduard German versus Khizir Dajimkantov. These two savages didn't bother with the feeling out process. From the opening round, they started throwing leather with bad intentions.
Вот видите, как он отходит, какой резкий. Слушайте. Один, кажется, достал. Иди сюда, говорю. 29 лет. Что вы говорите, удивляете? Ну и что вот это? Что? Возможно, он что-то готовит, Эдуард. 9-летний представитель Москвы. Попытка пройти в партию. Его соперника, у Хизира 95 килограммов. У него 100 килограмм. Опа! Вот это да! Смотри!
In the second round, the headhunting continued, with powerful shots flying from both men.
Не подготовлен. Весь воздух он забирает себе. Друзья, поединок! Ринга забирает Khizir.
Then, near the end of the round, Eduard caught Khizir with a brutal right hand and sent him straight to the shadow realm.
Опоздал и судья не мог, конечно, долететь. Когда Khizir упал, я сам тоже мог.
Let's move on to the fight between friends Singano and Rashid Benzina. From the opening second, Francis showcased his power, sending Benzina flying with every punch he landed. Benzina began to panic wrestle, and Francis made him pay for it by locking in a brutal Kimura submission. Another fast and brutal finish was delivered by Mariusz Pudzianowski against Eric Butterbean. As the fight started, Butterbean charged at Mariusz like a tank, absorbing every strike like an armored vehicle, taking 9mm bullets.
Butterbeana odbije bardzo mocno, dobry low kick Mariusza. Takiego widzieliśmy Żadnej bijatyki, z Butterbeana uciekać z narożnika. To powinien robić Pudzianowski.
Realizing the danger of Butterbean's powerful hands, Mariusz decided to take the fight to the ground, and he did so with ease. From there, Mariusz unleashed a vicious barrage, brutalizing Eric until the referee stepped in and stopped the fight.
Z Butterbeanem będzie przychodziła nadal w oczach Mariusza Pudzianowskiego. Stanowisko komentatorskie Polsatu, proszę Państwa, to Łukasz Jurkowski.
I hope you're not tired of these fast and clinical finishes, because here comes another one, this time from Tuivasa against Brandon Sulli. Not even 30 seconds into the fight, Tuivasa delivers ground kisser that brutally faceplants his opponent.
In the black, two heavy hitters. Do not blink. As it should never do in a heavyweight fight.
Oh my God!
Out! Sulli! And here it is.
Look at this. Boom!
Elbow right on the button. And Sulli was gone before he dropped.
He was out all the way.
And we apologize.
Let's move on to the fight between MMA legend Fedor Emelianenko and Singh. And check this out, Rizin's president gives Fedor the belt before the fight even starts, basically saying, I know you're going to win, so you might as well have it now. While Singh is handed flowers, almost like it's his funeral. As the fight begins, Fedor immediately takes control of the center of the ring, while Jadip circles, unwilling to engage.
Правым боковым, хорошо раскачивает на ногах, клинч. Хорошо бьет руками в туловище Федор и отвечает коленом Jadip.
По движению Сингh выглядит интереснее. Справа здорово попадает. Слева начинается серия ударов Федора.
By the second minute, Fedor takes Singh down and starts manhandling him on the ground.
Ну что ж, теперь начнутся у Jadipa Singha настоящие проблемы.
Никуда не торопясь, так как и должен действовать последний император.
Закрывается Jadip Singh, иногда так кажется, что он даже не видит Федора Емельяненко. Попадает слева, жесткий такой короткий удар, и тут же вот тот самый ground and pound хваленый.
At one point, Singh is completely helpless under Fedor's masterful ground control, and under heavy ground and pound he decides to tap.
Аккуратно бьет, не по затылку, все по правилам.
Ну вот, наверное,
пожалуй, что все в нокауте уже Jadip. Один раз будет развиваться, а руки будут его подняты.
Конечно, сейчас мы видим заключительные мгновения этого самого боя, который сложился в пользу Федора Емельяненко, и весь вопрос в том, что же дальше.
Let's move on to the fight between Sholto Lutters and Terence Bourne. Well, fight might not be the best word for this one, because Terence came out and starched Lutters within the first minute.
Composer looking for the attack, looking to counter-strike. Oh, big bad right, catches.
Both exchange, knee inside the clinch from Terence.
Terence just absolutely whipped him around.
Oh, huge left hands from Terence Bourne. Laters is trying to struggle as the odds come up, and it's done so quickly. They still take a look at the action replay, but what it is, very quick, might as well play it in real time.
Yeah, look, swung him around, and then just went to work, had that under control and smashed on the ear. Just kept hammering at him.
That's 7, that's 8, that's 9.
There wasn't much response
10,
there.
That's 11, that's 12.
Next up, Denis Smolder versus Daniel Emelianenko. As the first round begins, Daniel applies pressure and delivers some solid kicks.
Набрал удар в последнее время. И, кстати, подсушился, что интересно. Должны были его вводить сейчас. О чем стало известно практически за сутки. Поэтому сегодня, возможно, чуть меньше обычного будет операция.
Smolder tries to answer with a kick of his own, but gets caught and taken down.
И непонятно, чего от него ждать в конкретный момент. Довольно разные вещи. Нельзя там ни в коем случае оставаться, надо обязательно уходить.
They scramble on the ground for a bit before Smolder managed to escape and work his way back up to his feet near the cage, where the two engage in some dirty boxing. Then, with about 20 seconds left on the clock, Daniel lands a short but brutal elbow that shuts Smolder's lights out.
Наблюдается, а вот в смешанных единоборствах все это есть. Ну, молодец. Есть еще. Это как раз то, что вы описали. Локоть, с ума сойти. Вот такой короткий, жесткий локоть. Это и готовность работать универсально. Классный удар, фантастика. Я такого еще не видел, если честно. Взбираться на вершину, которую, в общем-то, я думаю, вполне себе достоин. Либо что-то в тренировочном лагере менять.
Now let's move on to the one of the craziest fights you'll ever witness. Arloski vs Vyacheslav Datsik. True to his madman fighting style, Datsik starts the fight wildly, charging across the cage at Arloski.
The ring with a jump kick and gets taken down, and it's a wild and woolly affair here at the early part of the round.
Arloski is clearly dominating early, landing the heavier shots and doing a much more better job in the grappling department.
Arloski not getting the takedown on the red-headed Datsik. Datsik with a crazy look on his face.
Wow, this is a slugfest here. It's like, here I come, go.
I wonder who his crew is in Muay Thai, because at least one of them may be thinking about a submission. Don't know if he's going for it yet.
Yeah, I can't see. It's a leg lock. Oh, look at him.
Big knee. Wow, they're slugging it out here. I can't believe the fight has gone this long. Things seem to have gotten personal in the ring. And a big kick by Arloski.
Then check this out. Datsik flips the switch and goes full psycho mode, throwing all kinds of wild attacks. But the real surprise comes right before the end of the first round, when Datsik lands a vicious right hand that puts Arloski to sleep instantly.
And here the audience.
Whoa! If Arloski gets up from this, it'll be shades of Count Dracula rising from the coffin. Unpredictable style. And that right hand that ended the fight. Datsik, definitely a force to reckon with.
Next up, Richie King vs Tom Aspinall. As the fight begins, Tom rushes in with punches, and they immediately clinch. Richie, however, shows off his impressive wrestling skills and executes a clean takedown.
The clinch is also fantastic for sounding out, and that's that King suddenly spins his man. Beautiful technique by Ricky King there.
They scramble on the ground for a bit before Tom locks in a fight-ending leg lock, securing the victory.
Ricky King in all sorts of danger, he's trying to punch his way out of there. There's the tap.
You were right, Nick.
Unbelievable, first minute victory, beautiful leg lock.
And from here, look, Nick, it's King that initiates the takedown.
On to the next one, heated action between Sholto Lutters and Nico Jenji. The opening of the first round is fairly slow-paced, with both fighters feeling each other out. As the fight progresses, however, these two really start to throw down.
He's not afraid to get into this. Oh, big overhand right. Try to transition.
Oh, both lads changing.
That's another massive human being, so you know that he's...
Moving to southpaw. Oh, massive high head kick that misses.
Back to his work. Front foot.
Shot to Lutters. Oh,
big right!
What a fantastic right from Lutters. Nico Yamji's in trouble. Lutters is trying to finish. He's got the neck again now.
Man, that right hand was getting... Oh!
That's a big swing from Nico now.
This is... Both these gents...
Another big right from Lutters. Yamji's replying.
In the second half of the round, grappling exchanges begin.
Of Nico Yamji. And a big right. The ground and pound's coming in from Sholto Lutters, and Nico Yamji's covering up.
Oh, good double leg.
Oh my word.
Nico ends up on top and unleashes heavy ground and pound on Sholto.
It's a big man on top of you. Sholto's got to get moving. He can't just wait for those to drop. Oh, big right hand.
Yamji has a minute now. His shot's coming in.
Oh, it's a big man on top of him.
Lutters has to start moving. He's covering up and not doing. Brown block stops the fight. Nico Yamji takes the win.
That's it. The referee steps in to stop the fight. A wild bout while it lasted.
big right hand that wobbled Jenji's legs. He stayed in it though. He got rammed off his feet. Was on top of him. Those big heavy hands were being thrown. Move and then drop some big heavy right hands.
Lutters was giving him everything he had. You know, Sholto was having his own way of the ground and pound.
For those who watch my channel, by this point you should already know who Sando Lungu is. A real-life savage. But even savages can be beaten, and Tomasz Czerwiński, a man who looks like a smaller version of Brock Lesnar, proved just that. As the fight starts, Lungu goes for his signature bear hug, looking to crush Tomasz' ribs on the ground.
Low kick pentru polonez. Iată, înclingi pe cei doi coloși. Reușește să-l cuprindă Sandu Lungu, mondial și european de jiu-jitsu brazilian Camil Moldoveanu. Iată pe Sandu, aproape că îl duce la sol, trebuie să-l mai tragă puțin pe colos și...
He gets the takedown and begins to maul him.
Poloniei. Să-l preseze în acea poziție.
If I didn't tell you the result in advance, you'd think this was heading toward another smothering win for Lungu. But check this out. Thomas reverses the position and starts pounding Lungu, who hesitates for just a second.
O finalizare preferată de Sandu Lungu,
S-a răsucit acolo și lovește în cascadă.
Sandu,
ridică-te! Serie de
ridică-te!
croșee. Moment dificil pentru Sandu, serie de...
Trimite polonezul lovituri, se apără Sandu Lungu acolo. Lovește în blocaj, dar Sandu trebuie să se ridice în acest moment din acel loc, lovituri de genunchi pentru polonez.
And that's it. The referee gives Lungu a chance to escape the beating, but the shots are too brutal. What a comeback of the century from Thomas.
Spectaculoase. Vedem aici aceste lovituri încasate de Sandu. Au fost câteva și în blocaj, au fost...
Next up, Renan Ferreira versus Fabricio Almeida. Right from the start, these two begin swinging and keep that same energy throughout the entire first round.
He has Almeida hurt. Almeida shaking it off a bit. Ooh, big right hand from Almeida. Problema might want to be careful winging in like that. Almeida looking to get inside on the much bigger fighter.
Really something we...
Oh, big left hand, short left hand by Problema, drops Almeida, and Almeida now covering up. Problema trying to shut down the show here, ground and pound. Problema with a big right hand over the top, caught Almeida in the back of the head, and a lot of fighters will tell you.
At the beginning of the second round, nothing changes. They're still trying to knock each other's heads off.
Left hand by Fabrizio. Ooh, Fabrizio looks for a... We see Problema taking some deep breaths here in the second round, first minute.
Then Almeida almost decides he's done playing games. He takes Ferreira down, secures his back, and starts raining down hammer fists until the referee steps in to stop the fight.
And in this position, Renan Problema might just want to posture up a bit and rain down some strikes. Problema dropping some heavy hammer fists on Almeida, and Almeida is covering up, and that is the end for the decision.
Next up, Hongman Choi vs Mighty Mo. Like many super heavyweight fights, this one started slowly, with Hongman Choi backing down and Mo steadily applying pressure. By the second minute of the fight, Mo began showing some wild haymakers and powerful body shots.
자, 손목 잡아서 최홍만 선수도 한번 날려봤고요. 또 때릴 수 있고요.
네, 생각을 해야 되겠습니다. 떨어지면서 펀치 날립니다만, 최홍만도 맞받고 있습니다. 마이트모의 라이트, 최홍만. 자, 눈 살아 있어야지. 자, 라이트 다시. 마이트모. 위에. 자, 최홍만이 펀치를 내면서, 최홍만의 앞면에 몇 차례 걸리고 있습니다. 바디. 마이트모 어퍼컷 최홍만 넥킥. 최홍만. 들어오면서 걸렸고요. 최홍만. 네, 앞면 방어. 네, 펀치의 강도가 확실히 강하군요. 바디. 다시면서
걸렸습니다.
네, 때리면서 들어오는데 거칠게 숨을 쉬면서 라이트 날립니다. 레프트가 들어갔고요. 자, 최홍만이 펀치를 내고는 있는데.
In the final minute of the round, Mighty Mo locked onto his target and landed a brutal finishing shot on the giant.
인사를 하고 있습니다.
신장 리치를 건너뛰는 저 무지막지한 핵펀치가 바로 얹히면서 이건 뭐 트럭의 충돌하는 느낌이겠죠.
네.
Let's move on to the madness that unfolded between Vandam Mumbai and Juan Bezuidenhout. Their face after the weigh-in felt like something straight out of a Quentin Tarantino movie. When the fight began, Van Damme immediately pinned Juan against the cage and landed an illegal blow with a knee to the nuts.
Kicks. One of them looked like quite low, but yeah, he's done.
Oh,
Very low blow.
Watch out. Low blow by Big Van Dam.
And he's still arguing with the ref. Let's look at the
See
replay.
exactly what went down. There it is. Yeah, you could see it immediately.
After Juan recovered, Van Damme wasted no time, slamming him hard to the mat and finishing the fight with relentless ground and pound.
Sidelnikov. Van Damme picks him up and slams him down on his neck. Some nasty elbows coming in. Sidelnikov's just covering up. Butterbean's looking very closely. Sidelnikov's got no answer whatsoever. And it's off! And there really came a point there that Sidelnikov really had no answer whatsoever. Great to see the respect, as I expected, between these two. I mean, he's such a cracking character. Is Van Damme. He's one of our favorite.
Restonic action replay. Let's see kind of how it all went down. The knees start coming down. There is nowhere to go. Even in slow motion, they are going fast, Simon.
Incredible. There was nothing Sidelnikov can do. It's one of those kind of strikes that you're getting knocked out through your guard.
Let's move on to the fight between Sergey Kharitonov and Fernando Rodriguez. In the first round, Sergey applied heavy pressure on Fernando, showing complete control of the ring. Rodriguez managed to land a few shots of his own, but Sergey clearly connected more often and with greater power.
Удары запускает Фернандо. Сергей, как всегда, хладнокровен, он всегда примерно знаком.
От бразильца пока нет точных ударов, справа попадает.
Минимальную защиту держит Сергей. Еле успевает поднимать руки под одним хай-кики, но главное, что пока все в порядке у него. Периодически постреливает джебами уже не только в голову, но и в корпус. Двоечку в исполнении Харитонова, но ответил. Частенько прилетают нокауты, именно когда за ухо прилетает удар. Еще раз попал Харитонов, сам ушел с линии атаки.
By the second round, Kharitonov had made all the necessary reads and was ready to deliver the finishing blows. And he did exactly that, as the round began.
Бразилец создал несколько таких опасных эпизодов попадания. О, здорово, Харитонов справа попадает и еще раз.
И как нокаут, друзья, по-моему, все. Уже лежит на земле бразилец.
Next up, Tolia Sumac vs Robert Orbacea. Tolia, who looks like a savage version of Al Bundy, started taunting Robert early, as Robert came out swinging for the fences from the opening bell.
Fox, main event. Oborcha trying to get in on Tolia. Tolia jabbing, says nothing.
In the first minute, Robert went full headhunting mode against Tolia.
Ball, head movement, coming forward. I would like to see Tolia maybe put that chin down a little bit.
That burst of energy faded quickly though, once Sumac secured the takedown and began manhandling Robert on the ground.
This is where he's dangerous. He likes to do his work here, working some ground and pound, staying heavy on Robert.
Robert needs to get his back on the fence and work his way back up.
After a round of heavy ground and pound, Robert realized this was not his level of savagery and tapped out, saving himself from further punishment.
Looks comfortable being in top position, working Robert right now, slowly winning the round.
We have a full
and tap.
Oh no! I think we have an injury from Robert.
Go longer, but that's what you expect from the heavyweights. Usually short fights. We'll see some replays.
I think. Yeah, he looked like he was posting up.
On to the next one, Nikolai Danilov vs Rashid Sirajudinov. Right from the opening bell, Nikolai began bullying Rashid, who looked clearly intimidated by Nikolai's physique in the early minutes.
Можно обманывать, но нельзя обмануть. Кто в борьбе не будет решать сразу, то чем дальше, тем ему поединок будет неудобнее вести. Он уже через опущенную левую руку, правый боковой раз за разом заходит.
Ну, пока ни разу Сирожудинов серьезно не донес. Просто не донес.
Довольно легко, вы знаете, для своей весовой категории он очень легко двигается. Ну вот, есть шанс теперь.
As the round went on, Rashid grew more confident once he realized Nikolai wasn't just going to rush in and tear his head up, and he started to mount some offense of his own.
Он сейчас раз за разом подключает именно лоу. Хорошая мысль. Оп, так.
Колено просилось.
By the end of the round, however, Nikolai proved that his muscles weren't just for show, tagging Rashid with a series of vicious shots, until one finally dropped him to the canvas.
Больно начал он, да, громко, что ли.
И раз, и два, и три, и четыре.
Данилов, без сомнения, что, ну, в общем, готов уже, да, Рашид Сиражудинов для того, чтобы принять, да.
Он стройный.
Три сбоку подряд, и все, будет домолачивать.
Next, Bobby Ologun vs Katsuya Kitamura. The first round was total domination by Kitamura. He used his wrestling and brute strength to pin Ologun down, and didn't let him back up for the entire round. The second round, however, became much more interesting. Kitamura scored another early takedown, but after some time the referee stood them up. Katsuya then chose to exchange strikes with Ologun and got tagged, forcing him to switch back to wrestling. Kitamura was bleeding heavily from his nose, and his breathing was clearly compromised. Ologun took advantage of this, reversed position, and locked in a rear naked choke to secure the win. On to the next one. Savage El Bandi, Tolia Siumak versus the smaller version of Brock Lesnar, Tomasz Chervinsky. Tolia used his wrestling skills and size advantage to pin Thomas against the cage, while Thomas tried to generate offense with his striking.
Prins și arbitrul acolo alunecat, acum Chervinsky, Tolia se mișcă, însă această poziție cu shoulder-urile paralele cu Chervinsky nu îl ajută.
Ratează niște croșei acolo, însă s-a ferit foarte bine Tolia. Au fost 4 lovituri de braț foarte puternice.
The real fun started in the third round. Thomas was bloodied and exhausted after 2 grueling rounds, but he was still throwing bombs.
Mai poate sau nu mai poate? Aceasta este întrebarea pentru polonezul Chervinsky. În această ultimă rundă mai sunt 5 minute din acest meci. Tolia încasează un croșeu, însă îl duce pe picioare. Incredibilă bărbia lui Tolia. Câți luptători ar fi reușit să rămână în picioare? Sară peste Chervinsky. Iată ce dreaptă din partea polonezului. Incredibil acest Chervinsky care îl vânează pur și simplu pe Tolia prin cușcă în aceste momente. Are nasul spart și nu mai poate, însă tot Chervinsky face pasul înainte. Ce inimă are acest polonez! Câștiga meciul, mi-e greu să cred că va reuși să fie declarat câștigător fără să facă ceva spectaculos acum pe final.
Se ferește Tolia în aceste momente, un uragan s-a dezlănțuit asupra sa.
However, in the final minute of the fight, Thomas injured his hand and couldn't continue.
Care nu pare în stare să-l pună la podea, s-a accidentat Chervinsky și cred că meciul se termină. S-a tăiat pielea lui Tomasz Chervinsky, care până n-a mai putut, până și-a rupt mâna. Extrem de puternic Chervinsky, însă sunt curios în ce moment și-a fracturat. Nu dau seama dacă este o ruptură a antebrațului sau o ruptură musculară. Am văzut sânge ieșind din mâna lui Cervinski, sau poate doar era stropit de sângele care îi curge pe nas. Da, iată, vedem sânge pe antebrațul lui. Orice stil de luptă, să reziști mai mult decât adversarul tău, indiferent de cât damage.
Now let's move on to the real-life Kung Fu Panda, Chris Barnett, and some of his crazy knockouts. We'll start with his fight against Singano. In the first round, Chris immediately shows how crisp his striking really is. Kicks and punches flying so fast you'd never guess a guy built like that could be so technical.
Kono didn't prepare for too much at the gym, you know, these kicks, wow.
Wow, man.
Wow.
Jeez. He's putting his hands,
Overman punch there.
All right, this,
he's wobbly, he felt that. Wobbly. He felt it, another one, another one there.
Jeez, man.
By the end of the round, Barnett is confident enough to start taunting a bit. And fair enough, he clearly proved he was levels above his opponent in those opening minutes.
Backed off, Kono. Whoa!
That was
a performance there. Wow. He's gonna recompose himself, Kono.
And then Chris Barnett, he's taking a quick breather. Fighting is getting low kick. Just getting taking those low kicks.
The second round is where Barnett seals the deal with a kill shot. He lands a devastating spinning back kick.
He's got to really dig deep. Chris is using a lot of energy.
Okay, an accidental.
Singano tries to play dirty and pretends the kick went below the waist to buy time to recover. Chris protests immediately, basically saying he's lying, check the replay. And sure enough, the replay shows it was a clean shot to the body.
Oh, he's right.
He's right. He's right.
Let's go. Wow.
No, it knocked the wind out of him, but he's right. It wasn't a low blow.
Yeah, spinning back kick. DK. Whoa, I don't think that was in the contract.
Look at that. Bam.
Yeah. Oh, he felt it. Yeah, he felt it.
You know, I think the referee was confused at the same time too, because it could look from a different angle. It looks like a low blow.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Next up, Chris Barnett versus Sandu Lungu. As the fight starts, Sandu right away tries to close the distance and overpower Barnett, the same game plan he always uses. But Chris keeps circling, refusing to let Lungu lock him down. Then Barnett shows a spinning heel kick. He misses and Lungu capitalizes by taking him down. Sandu managed to get Barnett's back, but Chris shrugs him off and unleashes a barrage of punches on Lungu.
Oh, yes, positional reversal. Chris, made from behind, he's landing some pounding.
Okay, he's not responding right now. Barnett comes in and gets out, but Rune hasn't responded yet. He's
continuing to land some pounding from behind. Keith Barnett.
From behind the lineman. Yaban High Sick overcomes the crisis and immediately seizes the opportunity to attack.
Yes.
Lungu is still unresponsive. No response. Barnett keeps landing pounding from Barnett. The match is over.
That's all the ref needs to see. He steps in and stops the fight in the first round.
And it seemed like I lost the back mount, but I straightened my waist. I straightened it and shook it down, and after that, I ran the rune. Actually, once you lie down...
Chris Barnett delivered an even faster and more clinical performance against Ahmed Tijani. As the fight began, he once again showcased how diverse his striking really is, firing off punches and kicks from every angle.
Game, and that is a fighter. And you never know what you're going to get here. Taking on...
Then, by the second minute of the first round, Chris lands a brutal overhand right that instantly shuts Ahmed's lights out.
Shock the wood. Oh, it's down goes Ahmed. Chris Barnett on the mount. Wow. It's over. Fight's over. Shut this thing down. Fight's over. Fight should take this fight without experience. He went there. And unfortunately,
One of the deadliest chubby guys in MMA has to be Kirill Sidelnikov, and we'll start with his fight against Carlos Toyota. In the first round, Kirill wastes no time showing leather, showing just how dangerous and fast his hands really are. By the third minute, he's overwhelming Toyota with sheer volume, and Carlos just can't handle the heat and goes down. Another guy who had no chance against Kirill was Rakim Cleveland. As soon as the fight starts, Kirill begins bullying Rakim, forcing him to backpedal and circle the cage. Rakim tries to work off counters and actually does a decent job catching Kirill a few times. But Sidelnikov just eats every shot and keeps marching forward. By the middle of the round, Kirill lands two heavy straight right hands that stun Rakim.
Хорошо сейчас подловил ногу, после этого еще и парочку ударов.
Потерянным выглядит Кливленд, кстати, вот он, когда как раз Кирилл поймал ногу, уже, по-моему, выпал из поединка, и сейчас Сидельников его добивает.
And he doesn't hesitate for a second. He swarms him and finishes the fight.
Отдельно все началось, нам не показывает эпизод в моменте, где Кирилл подловил ногу и два раза очень точно в челюсть пробил. Вот после этого Кливленд буквально потерялся, хотя остался в стойке.
And then there's the super fast finish Kirill delivered against UFC veteran Fabio Maldonado. As the first round starts, Kirill tags Maldonado with early strikes and takes him down.
Он получил в Ирландии в феврале этого года. Хорошо поддавливает Сидельников, правый прямой. Здесь избиение, по-моему, уже пошло в самом начале. Сразу опрокидывает соперник.
From there, he unleashes brutal ground and pound and gets the job done within the first minute of round 1.
Кирилл Сидельников, выбрасывая очень тяжелые удары, перекрывается здесь Фабио Мальдонадо. Да, он умеет терпеть, но нужно активно обороняться. И, похоже, сейчас все будет закончено. Вот так вот. Вы все видели сами, дамы и господа. С этого удара все началось. И тут Фабио понял, что этот вечер для него хорошо не сложится.
But the most well-known Kirill fight came against the machine-looking monster, Martin Soltych. The fight opens with a crazy rush from Martin, who charges forward like he's trying to end it in the first 10 seconds.
Heavyweights, but you already figured that out. Soltych in the black with the white trim.
Soltych coming out like a fireball. Big right hands. I do not see this going the distance at all.
Kirill survives that early storm, and soon both guys are trading pure power shots in the center of the cage.
Good head movement. He's avoiding the big strikes.
Huge right hand by Soltych, just flipping above the ear.
Just as I said that, he catches a big right hand. Guy's gonna gas carrying around that kind of weight. You're not gonna win by trading strikes with a guy.
Kicks.
Then Kirill unleashes a fight-ending overhand from hell. One clean bomb that shuts everything down.
Very low.
Are you surprised it hasn't gone to the ground yet?
Not at all.
Oh! Big right hand punch, and that's
That is it. Looking at us now, Soltych smiling. That right hand right on the chin dropped him. And he is clearly not able to defend himself. Great stoppage, great punch.
Now let's move on to the American savage Tony Johnson and his most brutal knockouts. We'll start with his bout against Muhammad Wakaev. The beginning of the fight isn't easy for Johnson. Muhammad comes out applying aggressive wrestling pressure, but Tony does an excellent job defending every takedown attempt. By the end of the round, Wakaev, who hasn't been able to out-wrestle Tony, feels confident enough to trade strikes. Big mistake. Tony lands a massive right-hand bomb that ends the fight almost instantly.
Хороший джеб от Вахаева. Неплохо, по-прежнему чувствует дистанцию. Поплыл от Вахаева! И такого Тони не упустит, скорее всего. Один, другой, третий, четвертый удар. Виктор Карлин. Еще было множество добивающих ударов. Вот то самое попадание. Да, и действительно все закончилось в первом раунде.
One of the fastest finishes you'll ever see, Tony Johnson demonstrated against Denis Smolder. Not even half a minute into the fight, Tony lands a ruthless overhand that sends Denis flying and ends the fight.
И здесь, да, постарался зайти в борьбу Тони.
Попал Денис Смолдер с левой, там прочувствовал этот удар Тони и постукивает как...
Вот это да! Ничего себе! Справа чисто попадает и слева и справа.
Next up, Tony Johnson versus Daniel Emelianenko. Another fight where Tony showed just how lethal his hands can be early on. Both fighters met in the center of the octagon, and if you do that as a heavyweight, be prepared. Either you knock out your opponent or you get knocked the hell out. Unfortunately for Daniel, it was the second. By the second minute of the round, Tony sent him straight to the Shadow Realm. And the last chubby guy on our list, but certainly not least, is Rocky Martinez. Let's start with his fight against Hideki Sekine. Rocky comes out wild, attempting a flying knee right from the get-go. He doesn't quite land it, but it sets the tone for the entire fight. Hideki tries to out-wrestle Rocky, but Martinez does an excellent job defending. By the second half of the first round, they start trading heavy shots, and Rocky is clearly enjoying this part of the fight.
Dive for the leg, and Martinez's hands are busy now. Shrek wildly, back fist on the return. Shrek is dangerous.
Then he drops Hideki, who lands outside the ropes.
Kicks. The crowd comes alive. Shrek down off the balance. Hammer fist now. Ankle kick full out. Soccer kick landed big. Boy, Shrek's in trouble. Ref has to get in there. Shrek is now defending himself, and there's the ref, but it's not to stop the fight.
The ref tries to get him back in, but quickly realizes Hideki is done and stops the fight.
Hideki's balance, well, it was a straight right hand actually that started it all. I didn't see it from just the softed back of Martinez from the camera angle, but now a great camera staff has been amazing all night long, really picking up.
And let's wrap it up with Rocky Martinez versus Kiyoshi Kuwabara. This fight was an all-out brawl from start to finish.
Early and often, there we go, Martinez landing a combination there, right hand up the middle, throwing a kick there. Kuwabara coming in there, yep. These two guys are not messing around. Oh, they both landed some punches here. They both said there's not going to be any grappling in this fight. And Martinez says, bring it on.
Martinez has got great cardio for a heavyweight. That's his biggest attribute for this fight. But you're getting hit in the head like that, it's going to suck the energy out of you.
After 15 minutes, I highly doubt it. Kuwabara's landing some punches down the middle, though.
He really is throwing with wild abandon.
Martinez is swinging at him.
Kuwabara's bloodied up already. His nose is already bleeding a little bit.
Hats off to Kuwabara. He came to fight, but that courage came at a huge cost. By the second half of the round, his face was already bloody and battered.
Martinez now stalking his opponent. Uppercuts, lefts, rights. Referee's getting very close there, Frank. Referee may have had enough of this. Kuwabara continues to take these punches, but he's answering back, throwing his own.
Kuwabara's not falling. He's not stumbling. He's not showing any way of getting hurt. He's dropping.
He's gaining a whole boatload of fans right now. Troubled as a youth. Took a lot of flack for his tattoo, raised by his grandmother, on his own eventually. That, you know what, there is a future in martial arts. But he is taking an absolute peppering right now.
He's stumbling.
Rocky Martinez. Martinez now with a high kick. Kuwabara's face red, bloodied.
By the end of the round, the ref had seen enough of Martinez's savagery and stepped in to save Kuwabara from further punishment.
Jab there, a right hand sweat flying across the rising ring. Body shot by Kuwabara. Inside leg kick. Rocky dropping his hands.
Martinez can't keep doing this. He's got to keep his hands up because even though he's exhausted, there's still enough power back in there to put him down if he decides, if Mark gets a nice swing. Oh, he's getting caught now.
He's just landing his power punches. That's enough. It is over.
And so far, our Twitter followers and fans are batting a 0.
Yeah, so once again, just to, I believe someone's online asking me to, if I can re-explain the Mark Hunt thing. He looks up to Mark Hunt and apparently legally changed his name to Samurai Mark Hunt in honor of the samurais, obviously huge in the Japanese culture. Is obviously known way more to stand and bag. And he did stand and bag tonight, but the referee said, you know what, that is enough. You cannot take any more punishment like this.
That's it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you appreciate the work. As always, have a great day, and I'm out.